Well, welcome to another Sandia Mountain Natural History Center quick trip. I'm Paul Mowerman, director at the Sandia Mountain Natural History Center, and today we're going to take a little hike up into the home range, the Sandia Mountains, and talk a little bit about bear safety. People get awfully afraid of bears, and there's really not much to be afraid of if we take a few simple precautions and keep a few simple rules in mind. So, I've lived, worked, and hiked in the Sandia Mountains for over 20 years, and I've only encountered bears a few times. So bear encounters are very rare. But there are a few things that you can do in case you run into a bear. But there is one very, very important thing that you should not do, and that is run. A bear can actually run about 30 miles an hour. You can't. So you won't outrun a bear. People say you should run downhill because bears can't run downhill. That's a myth. Bears can run downhill. People say you should climb a tree. Bears can climb trees very well, especially the bears we have around here, which are the American black bear. So the most important thing is not to run, because the other thing it does is it triggers their instincts to chase. But let's talk about a few of the things that you can do. So when you're hiking in bear country, especially on a windy day where you might catch a bear, where you might be upwind of a bear, it's really important to make some noise. Now, a lot of times I'll hike with these bear bells. They're making noise all the time. Or if that kind of annoys you, just occasionally yell out, hey bear, or clap, or something like that. The goal here is you just don't want to surprise the bear. So the first thing you want to do is, if you encounter a bear, is let them know you're there. Bears have an incredible sense of smell, a pretty good sense of hearing, but actually not very good sense of eyesight. So the first thing you want to do is make yourself known. Hey bear, hey bear. And then once the bear looks at you, hopefully he'll run away. If he doesn't run away, the next thing you want to do is make yourself as big as possible. Making yourself as big as possible. And then slowly looking away while looking at the mass of the bear, not right in its eyes. And then just slowly back away. All right, if that doesn't work, you're going to have to get a little bit more aggressive, because the bear is standing his ground. But you do have to remember the bear's in his habitat, but he's extremely nervous and agitated. So your next step is to really yell at the bear. Hey bear, get out of here! Get out of here! If that doesn't work, believe it or not, throw a couple rocks at him. You want to make the bear want to get out of that situation. If the bear still doesn't leave, your next option might be to carry an air horn. That should scare the bear away. However, I've actually been in a situation where I tried that and it doesn't work. One of the other things I do is I carry one of these. It's a sound grenade, and it makes a whole lot of noise. And you can pull that, and hopefully the bear will leave you alone. So a simple whistle is another good way of letting bears know that you're there or scaring them away. Still, the bear hasn't left you alone. Today is not your lucky day, but all hope is not lost. But now comes a very critical point in your bear encounter, because what may happen next is that the bear may charge you. But all is not lost yet, because most bears will bluff charge you. You have to remember, as hard as it is, not to run. One time, I've had a bear do this to me, and it will scare you more than you can imagine, but you have to hold your ground. So, it's probably a good time, though, if the bear hasn't left yet, to pull out your bear spray and even remove the safety, because things have gotten pretty serious. All right, The bear's charging you, it's time to use your pepper spray. A couple things to try and keep in mind in this incredibly high stress situation. If you can, try and have the bear downwind of you. And remember that this bear spray only shoots 30 feet. That's very close. So you have to wait until the bear's within 30 feet. He gets within 30 feet, point at it, give him one more chance. Stop, bear, stop! And if that doesn't work, fire. And hopefully, you've stopped your bear attack. That still didn't work? Well, you are having an incredibly unlucky day. And the prize that you get is now a fight with a bear. Now, a lot of people will say, I've heard that you should play dead. And that's actually true in grizzly bear country. With grizzly bears, what you would want to do is lay down, keep your pack on, lay down, cover the back of your head, spread your feet wide so it's hard to roll over, and try and play dead. I know that would be extremely difficult with a grizzly bear trying to eat you, but you're trying to preserve your spine and your internal organs. But in black bear country where we are, if a bear is actually on you attacking, you need to fight back. Grab whatever you can get, a rock, a stick, whatever weapon you can find, and fight back. Your trekking poles are a good thing. Go for the nose, the eyes. It's no time to play fair. You have to fight back. One of the things that people often ask me about are firearms in the backcountry. They ask, well, if you're going to be in bear country, wouldn't you rather have a gun than just bear spray? And the answer might be surprising, but for me it's no. There's been a study by Brigham Young University about bear attacks, and it found that people that responded to a bear attack with bear spray were 92% likely of getting out of it without injury, where people that responded to a bear attack with a gun were only 50% likely to get out of it with injury. Just think about it. If you spray it with a bear spray, you're going to have a big spray. This spray is pepper. It will severely irritate the bear's nasal passages and cause it a lot of pain, which it's not going to want to deal with. Remember, they're 2,100 times more sensitive than we are. And a gun, there's the chance that you might miss or anger the bear more. So bear spray is actually more effective. When you're camping in bear country, campsite selection is really important. There's a few things you want to keep in mind. You want to probably stay away from water sources. You want to stay away from bear food sources. So in the Sandias, that might be a patch of oaks or choke cherries or something like that. If there's a dead animal around, you don't want to camp near that. Probably wouldn't want to camp near that anyway. But you want to camp in a place that the bears aren't going to like very much. All right, so we got camp set up. It's time for a little bit of a coffee break. But one of the most important things to remember in bear country is that you've got to camp and store your food and cook 100 feet away from each other. So what we're going to do is we have a camp about 100 feet away. And now we're cooking right here 100 feet from that. And in a minute we'll show you how to store your food, but that will be yet another 100 feet away. The reason we do that is bears have an incredible sense of smell. As a matter of fact, bears can smell 7 times better than a bloodhound. Now that's pretty impressive, but keep in mind that bloodhounds can smell about 300 times better than us. So that means that a bear can smell about 2,100 times better than us. So putting your food in a Ziploc bag and hoping that the smell doesn't get out, that doesn't work. Because I've actually heard that bears could actually smell what's inside of a can of food, like a can of soup. They could tell you the type of soup that's in there. So it's real important that we stay 100 feet away. All right, so it's a little bit of a pain to walk away, but I'd rather enjoy my coffee 100 feet away than have a bear visit me in the middle of the night. All right, so we call it a food bag because primarily what goes in the bag for storage away from our camp is food. But we want to make sure that we don't just get food, but anything with a smell. So our cook kit, we cooked in that. Obviously our food, even though this is freeze-dried food, things that we don't really think of are things like toothpaste and soap. Bears love that. And then also, we often don't think of our trash, but trash is an important thing to put in our food bag. Some people in really bad bear areas will actually even put the clothes that they cooked in their food bag. So really what you're thinking about is anything with the smell of food on it, you want to put in your food bag and hoist up in that tree. So let's go see how we do that. So when you're in bear country, you got to store your food, remember, 100 feet at least away from your camp. Really, the further the better. Now, there's a couple ways of doing that. There are bear canisters, which look like a big jar to put your food in that you just store away that the bears have a very difficult time getting into. There are Kevlar bags called ursacks that you tie to a tree that the bears can't get into. But most people, when they're traveling in bear country, use something called a bear bag. And in a bear bag, you're gonna hang your food up in a tree. Okay, so first of all, we gotta get a line up into the tree. And the way we're gonna do that is we're gonna take a little bag, put a rock in that bag, zip it shut. Now we have a throw bag with a line on it. Let's see if we can get it up in the tree. So the key to this is we want to find a branch that is about 12 or 15 feet up in the air and that sticks away from the tree at minimum 5 feet. So if the bear climbs the tree, you can't reach it. Then once we find that branch, we're going to hopefully just throw our rock right over. All right, we're a little bit successful. Once we've got our throw bag over the branch, we're just going to pull it down. And you got to obviously be careful here that you don't lose your rope. But you're going to untie it. And replace it with your food bag. Remember, everything with an odor goes in our food bag. We just tie that off. And pull it up in the tree.
Hopefully these tips will make you feel a little bit more comfortable in bear country. And always keep in mind, bear encounters are very rare because bears are more scared of you than you are of them. Thanks for joining us.